Tune in to Sports 360 with Ahmed Hamad.
On the third day of the first cricket test match between India and Australia chasing a target of 534 in their second innings were 12 for 3 at close of play today. Earlier, India resumed their first inning at the overnight score of 172 without loss, and they went on to score 487 for the loss of 6 wickets when they declared their second innings, setting a target of 534 for Australia. And in the dying moment of the game, Australian batsmen have to face almost 5 overs today, and they faced 4.2 overs and lost 3 crucial wickets. Yes, first to go was Nathan McSweeney on the 4th ball of the inning without scoring. He was legged before by Jasprit Bumrah. And second to go was Pat Cummins, Australian captain, who voluntarily came in as night watchman but was out after scoring just 2 of 8 balls. And he was caught by Virat Kohli in the slip of the bowling of Mohammad Siraj. So he lost his wicket, and Australia were 9 for 2 in the 4th over. But in the last over of the day, they lost the wicket of Marnus Labuschagne without offering a shot. He reviewed it, but in the end, it was umpire's call, hitting outside the line of the stumps, but it was hitting off stump. So he was declared out. And Australia were 12 for 3 in 4.2 overs with not-out batsman Usman Khwaja at the crease with 3 runs of 9 balls. Both the opening fast bowlers of India, Jasprit Bumrah has 2 wickets and Mohammad Siraj 1. Jasprit Bumrah, 2.2 overs, 1 maiden, 1 run and 2 wicket, while Mohammad Siraj, 2 overs, 7 run and 1 wicket. Earlier, India resumed their first inning at the overnight score of 172 without any loss, and with a lead of 218 runs, they lost their first wicket after both the openers put on 200 runs for the first wicket, and they lost the wicket of KL Rahul in the 63rd over, where India were 201, and KL Rahul, after reaching his 3,000 runs in Test cricket, was out after scoring 77 of 176 balls. He stayed at the wicket for 295 minutes, hit 5 fours, and his strike rate was 44. He was caught by Alex Carey, the wicketkeeper, of the bowling of Mitchell Starc. And today's second wicket was Devdutt Padikkal, added 76 for the second wicket with Yashasvi Jaiswal, and in the 85th over, Devdutt Padikkal was out after scoring 25 of 71 balls with the help of 2 fours. He was caught by Smith off the bowling of Josh Hazlewood. And then the third wicket at 313, Yashasvi Jaiswal, after scoring a brilliant 161 of 297 balls with the help of 15 fours and 3 sixes, and he was out after scoring 161. His strike rate was 54.20. He was caught by Stephen Smith, and the bowler was Mitchell Marsh. Mitchell Marsh took the wicket of Yashasvi Jaiswal, who scored 161 runs. And this was the highest opening wicket partnership in this century, highest opening wicket partnership in Test against Australia in Australia. And this is Yashasvi Jaiswal and KL Rahul, 201. 323 between Jacob Hobbs and Wilfred Rhodes of England. They scored 323 for the worst wicket against Australia at Melbourne in 1912. Then Jacob Hobbs and Herbert Sutcliffe of England scored 283 against Australia at Melbourne in 1925. Then in 1966 at Sydney, Bob Barber and Geoffrey Bycott scored 234 for the first wicket. Then in 1986 at Walker, Bill Athy and Chris Broad of England scored 223 for the first wicket. And in 1991 at Adelaide, Michael Atherton and Graham Gooch put on 203 runs for the opening wicket partnership. So this is the 6th 200 plus partnership against Australia in Australia, Yashasvi Jaiswal and KL Rahul with 201 runs. Yashasvi Jaiswal during his inning reached his century, and he was applauded by King Kohli. Then he also reached his 150 also. Yashasvi Jaiswal in his most purple patch, most 50 plus score in Test in 2024. He's leading the list with 10 50 plus score, followed by Joe Root with 9, then Commindu Mandis of Sri Lanka with 8, and Ben Duckett of England with 750 plus score in 2024. Indian batting genius, 3 different generation, 18-year-old Sachin Tendulkar is scoring a century at Perth, then 23-year-old Virat Kohli scoring a century at Adelaide, and now 22-year-old Yashasvi Jaiswal is scoring a century at Perth. Three young talent in different generations taking down Australia with 100 on their maiden tour. And what a contrast to Indian inning. In the first inning, they were bowled out for 150, and in the second inning, they reached 151 without losing any wicket. Yashasvi Jaiswal Test century number 4. He scored his first century against West Indies in 2023, 171. Then 209 against England in 2024. Then 214 not out also against England in 2024. And now 161 against Australia in 2024. Yashasvi Jaiswal has another record, experiencing both world visitors with a duck and a century in a test match in Australia. And Yashasvi Jaiswal joined the list of Michael Vaughan, who scored 0 and 183 against Australia at Sydney in 2003, then 104 and 0 by Mahela Jayawardene at Hobart in 2007, then Andrew Stoss 0 and 110 at Brisbane in 2010, and then Graham Smith of South Africa 122 and 0 at Adelaide in 2012, and 106 and 0 by Cheteshwar Pujar of India at Melbourne in 2018, and now 0 and 161 by Yashasvi Jaiswal at Perth in 2024. He is also the fourth youngest Test centurion for India in Australia. First one is Sachin Tendulkar, who scored a century when he was 18 years and 256 days old at Sydney in 1992. Then Rishabh Pant, he was 21 years and 92 days. He scored a century at Sydney in 2019. Then Phadkar, who was 22 years and 46 days old when he scored a century against Australia in 1948 at Adelaide. And now Yashasvi Jaiswal, 22 years and 332 days. He scored a century at Perth in 2024. Fifth in the list is KL Rahul, who scored a century at Sydney in 2015 when he was 22 years old and 265 days old. And sixth in the list is Virat Kohli, who scored a century at Adelaide in 2012 when he was 23 years and 82 days old. Then 7 runs were added. Yashasvi Jaiswal was the third to go at 313, but 7 runs later, Rishabh Pant also lost his temperament and patience, came out of the crease to play aggressive shot against Nathan Lyon, who outfoxed him by bowling wide ball, getting him out stumped by Carey, and he scored only 1. And India lost the 4th wicket at 320 in the 96th over. And then India lost another wicket, 5th wicket of Dhruv Jurel when India were 321. Just 1 run was added and Dhruv Jurel was legged before by Pat Cummins for just 1. And the 6th wicket when India were 410, Washington Sundar was out in the 126th over. He was out by Nathan Lyon, who clean bowled him, and he scored 29 runs of 94 balls. But in the end, Virat Kohli scored his 30th century of 143 balls with the help of 8 fours and 2 sixes with a strike rate of 70, and he was very well supported by Nitish Kumar Reddy, who scored an unbeaten 38 of 27 balls with the help of 3 fours and 2 sixes. And India went on to score 487 for the loss of 6 wickets and declared their second innings and setting Australia a target of 534. India batted for 134.3 overs and they scored their runs at a run rate of 3.62, and 2 of their batsmen, which is Yashasvi Jaiswal, who scored 161, and Virat Kohli scored 100, 2 centurion, and then 1 half century. KL Rahul scored 77, also reaching his 3,000 runs in Test cricket, and a valuable inning of Washington Sundar with 29 and 38 by Nitish Kumar Reddy. Virat Kohli reached his 50 with an uppercut, and that uppercut hit a security guard doing his duty at the boundary line. Virat Kohli also joined the list of post 100 against Australia in Australia by a visitors, and he joined Wally Hammond at number 2, who scored 7 centuries from 35 innings. Virat Kohli scored 7 centuries from 27 innings. The list is headed by Jack Hobbs of England, who scored 9 centuries in 45 innings. And this was also Virat Kohli's 81st 100 in first class cricket, 30th Test century in Test cricket. He's well and truly arrived in Australia, scoring 100 of 143 balls with the help of 2 fours and 8 sixes. And Virat Kohli has most 100 against Australia, which is number 10, and he is back in form. During the match, David Warner's daughter also interviewed some of the legends: Ravi Shastri, Harsha Bhosle, Brett Lee, Michael Vaughan, and father. David Warner. Virat Kohli also entered the list of most 50 plus in international cricket against Australia and Australia. He now has 23 50 plus score. The list is headed by Sir Vivian Richard with 36 50 plus score. Third in the list is also West Indian Desmond Haynes with 22, and fourth in the list is also West Indian Clive Lloyd with 19 50 plus score, and fifth in the list is Indian Sachin Tendulkar with 19 50 plus score in Australia. Virat Kohli also surpasses Sachin Tendulkar record of most 100 by an Asian in Australia. He now has 7 centuries. Sachin Tendulkar has 6, Sunil Gavaskar 5, and VVS Lakshman has 4 centuries in Australia. King's favourite then, Virat Kohli achievement on day 3 of India vs Australia first test at Perth. Most hundreds for a visiting batsman in international cricket, which is 10. Most 100 for an Asian batsman in Australia, which is 7. Third batsman after A.B. de Villiers and David Gower to hit 200 in Perth in international cricket. Third batsman after Sachin Tendulkar and Ricky Ponting to complete 30 hundreds in both ODIs and T20 international. Goes past Sachin Tendulkar taking third most catches as non-keeper for India in Test, which is 116. Australian bowlers stall hard. The fast bowler Mitchell Starc, 26 overs, 2 maiden, 111 runs and 1 wicket. Josh Hazlewood, 21 overs, 9 maiden, 28 runs and 1 wicket. Pat Cummins, 25 overs, 5 maiden, 86 runs and 1 wicket. Mitchell Marsh, 12 overs, 65 runs and 1 wicket. Nathan Lyon, 39 overs, 5 maiden, 96 runs and 2 wicket. Marnus Labuschagne, 6.3 overs, 38 runs and no wicket. And Travis Head, 5 overs for 26 runs. India are favourite to win the match on the 4th day. Let's see how the game progress, how the Australian rest of the batsmen respond to the situation as they are down and out of this match. They have lost their 3 wicket with just 12 runs on the board, and they need another 522 runs with 7 wickets in hand and 2 days of play to be played.
Keep on watching Sports 360 with Ahmed Hamad for latest news, views, and interviews of sports personalities from around the world.